we've got a very special guest in the house. Josh Richardson, NBA player who plays for the Miami Heat. Who would you be in the Arsenal team?
Ben White.
So you got that little nasty streak
Yeah,
to you as well.
I'm probably a better scorer than Ben White. Like, I like to shoot a lot of threes. Yeah. Theo Walcott. This guy is a burner. And I'm like, yo. I turned, I was like, bro, Theo Walcott is sitting right behind us. And they're like, who is that? And I'm like, nah, you don't get it.
Worst record in the NBA last season?
Maybe like Portland Trail Blazers.
Portland, so that's Tottenham, right?
That was a setup.
Welcome along to AFTV Transfer Daily, the show that keeps you up to date with players that have been linked with a summer transfer move to Arsenal. Hi, and welcome along to AFTV Transfer Daily, the show that keeps you up to date with players that have been linked with a summer transfer move to Arsenal. Great win for Arsenal yesterday away at Aston Villa. Really, really impressive win by Arsenal, winning by 2-0. Thoroughly entertaining game. I was lucky enough to be there and really, really enjoyed the game. It was a great atmosphere in the stadium from both sets of fans. And you could see it was two top quality teams going at it. Villa had their chance. They missed that big chance of Ollie Watkins. David Raya also pulled off another unbelievable save. That's 2 in a row that he's pulled off. He pulled off one last week. And of course, remember when Raya came in as a transfer, there's a lot of us saying, hey, including me, I ain't going to shy away from that, saying, do we need Raya? We've got Ramsdale. The manager's been proven right on this decision. You know what I mean? He's been excellent. And another clean sheet for him away from home. Saliba was brilliant as well. And Trossard comes on again and scores another big goal. How many times has he done that, right, since he's joined Arsenal? It just goes to show sometimes that your main target, we'll all look at this glamour target and say, yes, come on, let's get Mudryk. Remember our fans were losing it when we didn't get Mudryk? Trossard's come in and he's been absolutely brilliant for £27 million, whilst Mudryk would have cost us 80 million. That's why smart business is so important in this transfer market. There was, though, bad news yesterday before the game that Gabriel Jesus had picked up a groin injury, and that groin injury could keep him out. There's, reports that he could be out for weeks. It could be days. We don't know. There's going to be an MRI scan on Monday. That's what Mikel Arteta said in his press conference. And he's going to be out, and he could be out for weeks. And that's a big blow. And surely that means that we've got to go in the market and get either a striker or a forward player, especially with Eddie Nketiah leaving. That, as what I've been told, is still going to happen. Noticeably, Eddie Nketiah did not play yesterday, didn't come on at all. And last season, a lot of times when, you sort of need a willing runner to come on later in a game, there be Eddie Nketiah on a regular basis. He didn't get onto the pitch. He's going to be going to Nottingham Forest. They're going to cash in on the money, but who are Arsenal going to bring in? Looked at the quotes here from Mikel Arteta in his press conference. He says, we're a little bit short, and if we can do something, we will do it. We need good availability from everyone. We don't have 23 outfield players, and normally you have to be equipped like that. He knows that they're short in that area. He also spoke about how in the last week of the market, anything can happen. They have to, especially, even if Jesus' injury is not serious, I feel that shows Mikel Arteta and Edu that they're not going to be able to rely on his injury record throughout this season. They've covered all the other bases. We haven't covered it in that forward position. Now, Repubblica and a publication over there in Italy, they're claiming that Arsenal have moved ahead of Chelsea in trying to sign Viktor Osimhen. The Viktor Osimhen saga goes on. They even go on to say that they feel this one's going to go right down to the wire. What's going to happen to Osimhen? Is he going to move from Napoli, and where does he go? Napoli on the verge of securing the services of Romelu Lukaku from Chelsea. They need to sell Osimhen. They've spent a lot of money this summer at Napoli, or looking to bring in more players as well. Antonio Conte, we know, is a ruthless manager. He's brought in his number one guy now. That limits the chances for Osimhen. Osimhen surely has to go, but where? And will Arsenal make a move for him? And how much will it be? He wants big wages. And of course, there's that big release clause, although nobody expecting Napoli to demand that release clause because they're just not going to be able to get rid of him if they do. And they don't want to have, on their books, Lukaku and Osimhen with the sort of wages that comes with that. So that is going to be interesting to see how that plays out this week. Are Arsenal genuinely in for Viktor Osimhen? I think we are going to find out. Well, we will find out this week because it's the last week of the transfer window because it closes on Friday. What about Viktor Gyokeres? Now, this one has been rumbling on the whole of the transfer window. I spoke about how yesterday, yet again, he scored goals, 6 goals in 3 games. He's got an unbelievable goal-scoring record, 43 goals last season. He was asked by the Portuguese media yesterday about his future at Sporting, and he did not dismiss a move away. Listen, he did that football thing where he said, listen, I'm happy here, I'm scoring goals, all that, but anything can happen, he said. He's not dismissing it, dropping a big hint that he would be open to a move. Will Arsenal, though, go in and make a move for Gyokeres? His goal record speaks for itself, although there is a caveat that that's in the Portuguese league. We all remember how Darwin Núñez was tearing it up over there in Portugal and how he struggled in the Premier League. Would this be the same for Gyokeres? Listen, he's hardened in the fact that he was playing in the Championship before going to Sporting. Will Arsenal make a move? Another interesting one, as is Simon Adingra from Brighton. Noticeable yesterday that he didn't come on till very late in the game, in the 90th minute, surprisingly. However, when he did come in, look at the impact he made. He had an assist that gave, a brilliant assist, by the way, which gave Brighton that 95th minute winner against Manchester United. But Brighton would be willing to sell him if the price is right. Could this be the guy that Arsenal may be bringing in that forward line that gives that backup to Saka, who again yesterday was getting kicked to smithereens? He got absolutely chopped down by Onana yesterday in the game. Listen, that's not sustainable throughout a season. You've got to have backup to this guy. And somebody like an Adingra, who's a top player, getting better, still young, improving, game in, game out, wouldn't be crying if he was put on the bench, a bit like what Trossard did yesterday, right? But would, in a good way, Trossard did it, by the way, right? But wouldn't be crying if he's on the bench, would be happy to be at Arsenal and would be that player who would come in and make an impact, as we saw yesterday for Brighton. That is going to be one to watch, but I do think if Arsenal do try and move for him, it's not going to be cheap. Brighton have spent a lot of money this summer and they're going to be wanting to recoup in a big way. Eddie Nketiah, as we were just discussing, unused substitute yesterday. All the indications you need to know that Arsenal are looking to move him out. Nottingham Forest, they won yesterday, but they're still in the hunt for a striker. And we're fully expecting this week Eddie Nketiah to join Nottingham Forest despite the injury to Gabriel Jesus. He's still looking to be on his way to Nottingham Forest. Aaron Ramsdale, however, his move to Southampton now is off. Southampton on the verge of buying the final goalkeeper, Justin Bijal. Justin Bijal on the verge of joining Southampton. So that limits the chances of Ramsdale moving. Arsenal want to bring in, of course, Joan Garcia from Espanyol, but that depends on if Ramsdale goes. As brilliant as Raya's been, you've got to have a good number 2. And we know Ramsdale doesn't want to be number 2, but that's what he is at right now at Arsenal. Wolves still interested in his signature. It's going to be an interesting one to watch over the last week because it will be a domino effect with him going, Garcia coming the other way. Bit of a waiting game going on there. We're going to have to wait and see how that one develops out over the next 6 days. And then there's Jakub Kiwior. Now, this is really interesting. Of course, we went to Bologna and we got Calafiori, who came on yesterday and looked impressive. And notably, it was Calafiori who came on not Jakub Kiwior. Now, Jakub Kiwior, according to the Italian journalist Gianluca Di Marzio, he says that Bologna want to sign Jakub Kiwior. They're interested in Jakub Kiwior. He's not going to be playing really at Arsenal, especially, listen, if he's a left-sided centre-back, if anything happens to Gabriel, it's going to be Calafiori coming in. There's a big outlay that's coming on him. On that left-hand side, You got Timber. You got Calafiori. You've got Zinchenko. You've got Tomiyasu when he comes back. I mean, his chances of playing are going to be very, very slim indeed. A move makes perfect sense, and he could be on his way to Bologna before the end of the week, although we know that other Italian teams are interested in him as well. So let's keep an eye on that Jakub Kiwior situation. And Mikel Merino, medicals have been completed. All we are waiting on now is the announcement. Could even be out today, Sunday, probably more Monday. But Mikel Merino is going to be an Arsenal player. I think this is going to be a great addition to Arsenal. Strengthens the team yet again. But we need that forward player. I'm still saying it, especially with the injury to Jesus. This could be a blessing in disguise in that it just says to Mikel Arteta and Edu, don't leave yourself short in this area. Remember, when he was out for all that time, it was actually Eddie Nketiah who came in and did really, really well, filling in for him. You know, we cannot leave a big hole there because, you've only got Havertz and then there's no other striker if Nketiah goes. So surely Arsenal have to be thinking about bringing in somebody in that position. Going to be a busy week here on Transfer Daily. We'll keep you up to date with everything that's happening. Also, anything that breaks, we'll have our breaking news updates. And of course, on Friday, we're going to be doing a deadline day special. So keep it locked here on AFTV. Don't forget to subscribe. Also, check out all of our great content from the game yesterday. Was interviewing fans after. It was brilliant. So make sure you check that out. And thanks for watching the show. We'll be back tomorrow.